angles. What a pose, queen. Oh my God. Ridiculous. I can't wait for her to do that. Like when you and Mose are like, oh baby, yay, everything's great. And then she's like, excuse me, look at my pose better.
Oh, she's gonna have some like attention problems. Well, this is lame, Kate, but the oven just went off. Give me 2 seconds, okay? I'm so sorry. Hold on.
Okay, when you get back, you're telling the listeners where you're going.
Okay, you're gonna hate this, but it just needs 10 minutes, and then I'll be done with all that.
That's okay. So you need to now tell the listeners where you just went.
Well, when will this come out? In like a month and a half?
Yeah, sometime in February.
So I'm late with this baby. And I've decided that, you know, there's all these things you can do to try to, like, kickstart labor. And they're all weird and silly. But since my husband is a diva, I thought maybe she's a diva, too. And what would make her come out instead of me waiting for this baby is a birthday cake. Because if you get a birthday cake, then you gotta, like, have a birthday. So maybe that's what will happen.
You think you'll sing happy birthday to your belly and then the baby will be like, here I come. And you're like, oh, no, the couch. No.
No, I don't want it to come that fast, but yes, you get it. So that's also when you're so bored because you bought everything, cleaned, organized, spending a day baking a cake.
Sorry, there's a dog foot in the screen. Just a foot. That's, yeah. Oh
she is so ridiculous.
Speaking of divas, Penny Pingles, everyone.
My God, I'm surrounded by divas.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, sisters who've seen it.
Hello, Mon!
Hey, Sanka, Sanka, Sanka!
Sanka, we are white, but we are quoting a movie.
Bobsled Team, we're John Candy, trying to not appropriate.
Don't wear a Rasta hat, just like John Candy did. It was a little weird. I think his head was cold. Okay.
That's awesome.
Okay. All right, we gotta introduce ourselves, because this is just gonna keep going. All right, listeners. So, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And I see pride.
Yes.
I see power.
Yes.
I see a badass mother who don't take
no crap from no one.
No one. Yeah.
And repeat. I see pride.
Pride. Power. Oh my God. What an inspa. What an inspa.
You know, it's cold. The Olympics are coming on. And you just want to get pumped up with a little chuckle here and there. We got it for you. This is really nostalgic. And Kate, it's from the best year in movies, which is
1993. Woo!
Cool Runnings.
Now I feel like we do need to lay this on the table for our avid listeners and our fans. We were supposed to do this movie weeks ago. And in fact, we did record this movie weeks ago. But technology is a little bitch. And it screwed us over, just like the bobsled screwed over the Jamaican Bobsled Team. So we are re-recording. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of moments where we're like, oh yeah, remember we talked about? And then we're going to do that. So that should be the drinking game, is if you guys hear us say that.
And I want to share some behind the scenes with like people that don't know how this podcasting stuff works.
Okay.
We are not fancy. We're not in some fancy like studio.
No.
And part of preparing for this baby is I kept thinking, oh man, I gotta make sure I have storage in my phone because I'm just going to take pictures and videos of the baby and I can't wait. And these recordings take up a lot of space. So I deleted what I thought was an episode that, we did this month. We did this 3 months ago. We're good to go. And what did we miss? We missed one day that Apple automatically deleted it from your email.
In my email, it was like, you can only download this for 30 days. And it was like the day after. But like, I didn't notice that because I guess we've never had to. Because we've never recorded that
recorded this far in advance. And I will say, this is our 87th episode.
Yes.
We have not screwed that up yet.
Yeah.
Which is like, so we're going on almost a year and a half.
Yeah.
Almost 2. Like, I don't know, not too shabby for like... trying to make this all work. But yeah, we're definitely gonna repeat some stuff, and even just like looking at my notes and what we talked about. And...
I mean, I didn't hate the experience of then watching the movie because we both did rewatch it, but like I didn't take notes. Yeah. So then I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And then I was just a little more with it. And did I cry at many parts? Again, yes, I did. I am not ashamed to say. So, who wants to do the synopsis? Okay, Bridget put her finger on her nose, so I guess I'll be doing it. That's fine. I probably did it last time. Who the fuck knows? All right. Okay. Cool Runnings, which means... something journey. Hold on. It's somewhere here. Where is it?
Oh.
Do you remember that part where he's like, we should call Cool Runnings and it means journey? No? Okay. We'll find it. No, anyway. Okay. All right. So we start off in Jamaica, man, and we're getting to meet who will be our main characters of this movie. And I would say maybe the main character is the character Doris. He is, I guess he is like a sprinter.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's a sprinter. So he is training, and he is training for the Olympic trials, which are coming up. So you see him just running and all this stuff, and he's really into it. And everyone's like, yeah, you're going to do great. You're so awesome. Hooray. Life is wonderful. Cool. Okay. That's one character. Okay, get ready. Get your notes ready. Next, we meet the other character, Dougie Doug, who is Sanka.
Hey.
Sanka is our comic relief, like, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's Doris's best friend, but Sanka participates in these pushcart derby races, which kind of remind me of Little Rascals. Do you remember that part in that movie?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. It's giving me those vibes. So he's just, funny, whatever, and they're best friends, and life is good, and hashtag feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme, go team. Okay. All right. Now it's the trials time. We're at the trials. Hooray for us. And Doris is next to a really big, scary dude who's bald, and we will later find out his name is Yul Brenner, or Brunner. Is it Brenner or Brunner? Uh-oh.
Sure.
Okay. And then the guy on the other side of him is this guy, Junior, who's a little smaller. He's a little, calm, and he's a nice dude, whatever. So these three are all in line, and this is just a 100 sprint. So very straightforward. They're just sprinting, and then if you obviously make it, you're going to be selected to go to the Olympics. So, dun, dun, dun. The race starts, and they all start running, and life seems really good, and Doris is in the front, and then Junior, not Little Giants Junior, no. Junior trips, and then because he trips, it trips Doris, and then it trips Yul Brenner, and they all fall, and magically it's only those three that fall, and it's really sad, and everything's wrong, and none of them get to make it into the Olympics, and we hate it. So, woof. That's a shame. And from there, so from that scene where it's like, okay, they didn't make the Olympic trial, whatever, everybody's sad, life is horrible. We go back to Doris. Doris is talking to some guy who, I feel like his name is Mr. Coolidge, and this was something I remember us talking about last time where I was like, why the fuck is his last name Coolidge? Cool Runnings-ish? Why is that? Whatever. Fine. It's fucking fine. Because this was kind of loosely based on true story, so maybe this was a real person? Question mark? I don't know.
I mean, it literally just says Coolidge.
It's cool, Cool Runnings-ish. Why? I don't know. But he is something to do with the Olympics something for Jamaica. He's some guy. And Doris is talking to him, basically being like, it's not fair. Give me another shot, whatever. And he's like, no, sorry. Try again in 4 years, whatever. But Doris does not want to let it go. He really wants to go to the Olympics. And then he sees a picture of his father, who was also an Olympic sprinter, who was with some guy that he doesn't know. He's like, who is this guy? I've never seen this before. Weird. Plot point. And then the guy's like, oh, that's, Irv? Is this his name? Irv?
What is John Candy's name?
It is John Candy, but
yeah,
his
it's
characters...
Irving Irv.
Oh, Irving Irv?
Well, like Irv, yeah.
Okay, so he's like, who is this? And he was like, oh, he was a bobsledder. And he always tried to get your dad to become a bobsledder because he says that sprinters are great bobsledders. And anyway, plot point, and hooray. And so Doris is like, wow, I gotta go now we're gonna do bobsledding. So this is his new thing. He just decided he probably could have, like, I don't know, gone for other track events or other, like, Olympic sports.
This is where this part is like, wait.
Like, I just... He
loved running, but he was like, you know what? I'm gonna now do,
fuck it.
I don't know, curling. You're like, what?
Yeah, like, it's kind of a leap, but sure, we'll do it.
But we're here.
So he recruits Sanka. Sanka's like, whatever, I'm Sanka, I'll do it. And you're like, wow. And then they go to get Irv, and Irv is played by John Candy, and Irv is a little...
Grouchy McGrouchster.
A little grouchy guy. He's like, I'll never bobsled again. Gah. And you're like, oh no, Irv, did a bobsled kill your family? I'm so sorry. But that's not what happened. He just, whatever. And then I honestly don't even really remember what the tipping point is where they get him to be their coach. I feel like it's something lame. Like, but look at this picture, Irv. Look at this picture I found of you and my dad. And then that's it. Picture changed his mind about the bobsled trauma. So, okay, fine.
He also was a little down and out, right? Like, he kind of had this bookie vibe and he wasn't making money and, like, he had nothing to lose. Like, he literally seemed like he didn't have the most going on.
Right. So they get him. Now they're like, okay, we got to get 4 guys to be on the team. We only have 2. Let's recruit some people. And they end up recruiting Junior, who was the one that tripped Doris and Yul Brynner. And then they also get Yul Brynner because Yul Brenner's like, I am like Doris. I don't give a fuck what I'm doing. I'm just trying to do it at the Olympics. So put me in something or on something or with something and let's do it. And you're like, wow. So this is our ragtag team of Jamaican bobsledders. And there's a lot of montages in the movie because obviously they're making the obvious jokes of like, LOL, bobsled in Jamaica, but there's no snow. How are they gonna do it? And whatever. So they train, and then fast forward, there's other stuff where they gotta like earn money, they get money, fine. So now we go to Canada, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Calgary.
Which is, that's Canada, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I hate geography. Okay, so we're in Canada, and now it's the Olympic trials, and again, they're kind of getting, I don't want to say discriminated against, but nobody's really taking them seriously. Everybody's kind of like making jokes about it, and they're like making jokes about the coach, because a lot of people know the coach, and he had something that he did that wasn't good in the past, and all this stuff. So the odds are against them, you could say, but they end up in their trial qualifying to actually like be in the actual Olympic events, whatever. And there's a lot of other stuff that kind of happens, but we get to the point where you saw them not doing so great, and then they kind of had some redemption, so now you're feeling on the up and up, and it's the final race, and you're like, oh my gosh, they're gonna do great. This is an inspa Disney movie from the 90s. We all know how those end. It's gonna be wonderful and magic. Oh, but Bridge. This is where Katie gets emotional because they fucking crash. Talk about bobsled trauma. And they don't even get it to the finish line. They could see it, but they didn't make it. And magically no one is dead and has a broken neck. It's weird. And they decide to then get out of their bobsled, and they all carry their bobsled over the finish line, and then there's a fucking slow clap, and then everything's great, and then Katie's crying in the background, and then we take a bobsled photo, and then that's it. And wow, I fucking love that ending.
Kate, they got the respect.
Oh, it's so good. That's like a good Disney message. Like, it's not fucking about winning. It's just about, like, if you start something and you want to finish it, like, get yourself to finish it no matter what. Like,
yes.
It's really sweet.
Well, and I think now that we've, like, done this twice, so we're really doubling down on what we know about this movie.
Yeah.
It is based on a true story that was kind of incredible how they even got to the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, with everything against them, and the fact that people trained for years and they just had like natural ability to just get there, that was the win. Anything else was like extra,
right?
But very uplifting. It was a little cheesier than I remembered as a kid, but light, like super light and fun. And if this comes on the TV, like just watch it, especially now, Olympic time. Get out of here. What are you doing?
I still did that one scene where it was like the opening ceremony and they're like, and there's the Olympic torch. And we said this in our last episode with Lord of the Rings 2 Towers. And I was like, man, when are we going to get the year we get that orc just running with the flaming torch to light it? Come on, people. Missed opportunity. Ugh.
And I'll tell you this, because this will come out when the Olympics have started.
Yeah.
The Jamaican Bobsled Team is trying to qualify.
Yeah!
For the 2022, they have a sponsor. It's kind of sad. They're still like begging for money on the internet. The official sponsor is called Po Pongo. But I guess they do trials. Like maybe they'll do it right. Like that's part of starting the Olympics. I don't know, because I haven't found anywhere like they didn't qualify. They didn't. So we'll see. But how cool would it be?
That would be cool. And I remember we talked about they were trying to sell like shirts, but I wasn't ever able to find like where to buy it or what was happening.
I know. And then it was like they're trying to raise money through NFTs. Like they're like, I don't even know.
Not NFTs. No.
But just the thing that also is like super crazy is 1988 was when they actually competed. And a lot of the scenes we'll talk about later, they pulled from the real Olympics.
Yeah. You could tell like whenever it was like people watching a TV and it was like the bobsled on the TV, I was like, oh yeah, that's like the real people.
So we need to get into this, Kate. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
And let's start off with how no one should start off with any presentation, which is using like Comic Sans to do your movie title fonts.
It's Comic Sans and it's the 90s like neon like lettering and like weird triangles in random places and you're like, wait, God. Should we do that?
And like squiggly lines and you're like, no, delete it.
It's like the track starter jackets. I definitely referenced this the first time we did this recording and I'm gonna say it again. The composer for this movie is Hans Zimmer. What?
I don't even know.
Like that is a trivia question nobody's gonna get.
Well, Kate, what else did Hans Zimmer do? List some other things.
Well, he's done the newer like Superman movie. He's done like a lot of the Christopher Nolan films, so, like Interstellar. Mm-hmm. He just did Dune, which was the big one. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of the big blockbusters, but like it's just funny. And I mean, Hans Zimmer is like a white German dude, so interesting composer choice. Because it really is just a lot of like Jamaican. It's like a lot of steel drums and okay, well, cool. I mean, there is some like inspirational music at one point, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a random fun fact. But yeah, so we right away see Doris training with children. And is that a common thing that we do? Is it?
Well, so they definitely, 1993. Jamaica is not like the poorest country ever known to man.
Mm-hmm.
They did kind of give it those vibes though.
Yeah.
They doubled down on the dramatic flair of like, these are the underdogs. They have no money. And in order to train for the Olympics, it's literally kids with like toilet paper that are like holding the race. Like they have to get past the toilet paper. You're like, okay. And everywhere was like dirt.
That's why I was like, why isn't Doris like on a track? Like there are tracks. What? Okay.
I don't even know. But at the same time, it had like a local community feel. And then he's like going through the city and everyone's like, yeah, he's going to the Olympics. Yeah. And you're just like, okay. Now it's supposed to be 1987 in Jamaica. So they were trying to like go back in time a little bit. I just thought it was like a little, you're like, okay, it's not that bad. Like that's a very like American thing to do. Like, look how awful this country is.
Oh, there was definitely more America filters put on this movie, in my opinion. Yeah. So then after that is like the pushcart derby race, which I would do this. Like if there was something like that happening near me, I'd be like, I'm ready. Would I recruit little children to be on my team? Probably not, but
Well, but Sanka had he kind of was a young guy at heart.
Yeah.
He kind of was like a kid in an adult body.
Yeah. And they all had like a song about Sanka where they're like, Sanka, he's the best, something, Jamaica! And you're like, wow. Okay, who made that up? What's happening?
And they had the Rasta Rockets. You're like, oh, well.
Yeah.
Sounds like a kid's toy, but let's do it.
Yeah. Well, thank God we wore helmets, though, because Sanka, I don't even know how this happened. Like, they wipe out. Why did that even happen?
We started off with a really good song, Feel the Rhythm, Feel the Rhyme, Come On Up, it's pushcart time.
Pushcart time, yep.
And then, it's like one dumb thing distracted him, and he was like, whoa! And it was like, really cheesy comedy, like, I'm falling! And then they, barrel into some stand.
It's demolished.
Yeah, I'm like, are you okay?
Is there insurance? What are we gonna do?
And he also was, screaming, I love Jamaica, and Jamaica loves me. Santa's, pro Jamaica.
Yeah, he's got the country pride for sure.
And Kate, what do they always ask Sanka whenever he falls and gets hurt?
Hey Sanka, you dead?
Yeah, man.
He always says, yeah, man. I'm like, wait, but you're not that. Okay, it's fine. It's all fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like, what a silly friend team, but here we are. We have one that's going to the Olympics. He's 6-pack, super together, focus, discipline, and then Sanka's like, I'm a little child and I do push carts and fall, and you're like, okay, this is the best friend team we're looking for.
Here it is. And now we got the Olympic trials or tryouts, or I don't know what you call it.
Trials.
Okay. And this is where we meet Junior and Yul Brynner. And I do kind of feel like last time when we did this, I feel like we kind of talked about each character separately a little bit, because they each, all the characters have pretty good
arcs.
Yeah. And personalities that I think they did a good job with.
No, they did a really good job. And they weren't so, this is you and only you, and you can't be anything else.
Right.
Yul Brynner learning about his dream to live in Buckingham Palace.
Oh, Yul, I just want to give him a little hug. Poor guy didn't know. He didn't know what he didn't know.
He didn't understand. Oh my God. But, because, okay, here's the thing. All right. When you look at these sprinters, Derice, to me, looks like an Olympic athlete.
Yes.
Okay.
He's tall and thin. Yeah.
Yeah. And Yul Brenner's beefy. And so you're like, okay, but they still look jacked.
Right.
But then Junior looks like the little guy.
He's a little guy.
And so when I was trying to remember, this is when, somebody trips and it's, drama, I thought it was going to be the big guy. Because I thought, I don't know, he's, big and spazzy, and he came off don't talk to me. And Junior's like, good luck, everybody, we can do it.
Woo!
But it's Junior who's the spaz and ruins it. And I gotta tell you, I really feel because that happens.
It's so sad.
You train for 4 years to go to the Olympics, and some asshole next to you trips you, and you don't get a do-over. And I'm like, man, I get it's life. Life's not fair, but that sucks.
Well, it's one of the only sports too that that could happen. You're not going to run into that issue with swimming. You're in your own lane.
Yeah.
And a lot of other sports, it's just not set up like that. But this one, it is. And it's sad. And it's slow-mo, and you're
it's so sad.
No.
He was so confident, too. He's like, I'm going to the Olympics. This was my life. I'm following after my father. Yeah, that was sad. And you're like, wow. I feel like he then did what I think most people would do, is give me a second chance. Let me do it again.
He's like, who can I complain to? Who can I go write a letter to? Who can I do that to? And I didn't know this guy's name was Mr. Coolidge, clearly, in the beginning, so I called him Mr. Olympics, which is not correct, but that's what I called him. But this is where we get the introduction of, he was an Olympic bobsledder, and Derice has never seen this historic photo of his father. Why? Why not? What?
The conversation goes from sorry man, life isn't fair, you'll get to do this in 4 more years. And he's like, what? And then he's just how about boxing? How about this? How about that? And
they are good suggestions, but Derice is like, no.
Yeah, Derice is like, what? And then what makes him twist his head and say, that's it? Bobsledding?
I still don't really know. I don't know if it was because he was like, oh yeah, this guy always said that sprinters make good bobsledders. I don't.
That line, John Candy used that line. Literally, this is a dad comment. When someone, or this is how I
where
say
they got
actors,
one thing they always repeat, and you're like,
we know! This is me. Actors play themselves. This is me. Okay? John Candy is just sprinters make the best bobsledders. Sprinters make the best bobsledders.
Take a sip every time.
Oh my God. But then he is hey, he still lives on the island, I don't know, years later, and he's kind of kooky, but good luck. And then, as you say Mr. Olympics is like, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm like, well, you were fucking no help. Great.
So rude.
Oh my god. Well, we don't even go to Irv right away. We go back to Sanka, and this is where he's like, bobsled! And Sanka's like, cool! And then Sanka's like, wait, snow, not cool. And then you're like, Sanka, please! And then Sanka just like agrees. It was like a 2-minute conversation of, he didn't need much convincing.
He pretty much was like, it's like push cart on ice. Now, a part of me thinks Sanka was like, this is never going to happen. So, like, sure, I'll do this with you.
Yeah.
But another part of me was like, this also sets up half of Sanka's personality as being cold for the whole movie.
That's the joke.
And I'm like, oh my god.
And why is it only Sanka that's cold? Like, we should all be cold.
But exactly.
Like, fine.
But then what do they do, Kate? They, like, basically set up, like, a recruitment session, right?
Well, first they gotta get Irv.
Okay, first they gotta get Irv.
This is where we see Irv, who is, again, he's just John Candy. This is a good role. I like this role for John Candy because he's used to very comedic roles, and this was still like a funny role, but it was a different kind of funny because he was like kind of scary and serious, but then like there were like really funny parts and things that he said and did throughout the movie. But he's like, get the fuck out of my face. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you if you talk to me about bobsled. And then they just basically stalk him. I don't know if this is all in one day or if this is over days, but they just keep bothering him, and then they appear in a bathroom stall and like, oh my god, don't do that. And like, again, the thing that gets Irv to buy into this is Teresa's like, look at this photo of you and my dad. And then he's like, oh, photo. Wow. All right, you know what? Fuck yeah, let's do it. And I was like, photos did that? Is that okay?
I
like, do you have a photo in your life that if somebody showed it to you, it would make you do something you were 100% against? Because I don't think I do.
Well, let's set the scene, right, Kate? I'm trying for 4 years to make the Olympics in sprinting. I get tripped. I come to you and I show you a Sisters Who've Seen It logo, okay? And I say, you got a bobsled with me. And you're like, would you? You know?
I mean, I would in that case. I don't want to be the coach though. Like, I want to be the bobsled. I actually feel like of all the Winter Olympic sports, I would enjoy bobsledding the most because yes, you do have to run, but then you're just kind of sitting and swerving.
I mean, it's a short run.
It's a short run, and
but you got to be into risk because, like, I don't know how they didn't die with that fall.
I don't even know how they filmed. I mean, I'm sure it was just like dummies, like in the bobsled when they filmed that scene. But I was like, I hated
it. I didn't realize how fast you go. But okay, this is John Candy's last movie before he died.
That's so sad.
I'm with you that this was like a really good role for him, especially because like it's like, why does he live in Jamaica? He's like hiding from the world. Okay, he's shunned in his world. He's shunned in his Olympic bobsledding world. But you gotta figure he's gotta have like something else. But it seems like he doesn't make money.
No,
he's a drunk.
He has just gambles.
Nothing. He doesn't even have like friends. So I don't know. I guess maybe also a part of him is like, whatever, why not? And then he's like, you know what? I'm a really motivational guy, and they go to this recruitment session where they show a PowerPoint of videos of people like dying. Basically,
I need someone to make a PowerPoint of how not to make a PowerPoint and use this PowerPoint as the example in their argument. Did you guys follow that? It made sense in my brain, and then it came out.
It was like America's Funniest Home Videos where you're like, this is like traumatic. Are these people okay?
And then the end of the thing, it says, it's just like one little sentence that says, crash kills bobsledder. And it's like the end. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, who picked this? My God. I mean, it was funny because then obviously it's like, okay, everybody left because like, what? This is really dangerous and scary. But we got Yule. And Yule's like, hey, bitches, I don't give a fuck about dying. I'm just trying to die, not on Jamaica Island. And you're like, wow. And then Junior's like, hey, guys, I'm late because I can't do things right for some reason. And
I wear sweaters.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't trip coming in that scene or something stupid.
Oh my God. But what's interesting is like everyone hates him because he ruined like 2 Olympic potentially careers. And when he comes in, they try to beat the crap out of him, which is like rightfully so, right?
Teresa's a little nicer about it, but like Yule is like, I'm gonna kill you, bro!
And they call him Rich Boy.
Yes.
So you're like learning like, okay, he's like, you know, I mean, he still was a fast runner, but I guess that's relevant now to call him Rich Boy.
Not quite sure. It's like they kind of put their toe in the water of talking about classism, and then they were like, ooh, that's too much.
Well,
that's
they're
all
like,
you get
we made Jamaica look so terrible, so we can't really have like a rich guy, but I guess we can. But anyways.
But
it was somewhat of a productive meeting, because they get to the point that says like, all right, let's just do it, because our whole life was the Olympics. We didn't get in, so whatever. And then Sanka's like, yeah, man, I have nothing else going on either. And
Sanka's like, I'm hanging out with little 8-year-olds, so this is kind of better. Let's do it.
Dude, think about that. Those 3 guys for 4 years trained, and Sanka just rolls up and he's like, I could do it too. And you're like, what, Sanka? Oh my god.
They needed 4 people, Bridge.
Well, and then how about Sanka being like, I'm the driver, and John Candy going into the most intense speech ever about how drivers do all the work, and it's Doris or bust, and everyone like blinked and just kind of was like, okay, John Candy, chill out.
So wasn't Sanka the like brake person or something?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't realize there were brakes in bobsled, but
well,
okay.
I think Doris did everything.
Oh.
And then it's just a matter of like,
it's like location, like where you're seated is different things. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the driver is the one that's really, like, everyone has to lean. So the driver, like, is anticipating it earlier. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he gets them to all agree. So they got the people. And then the next thing is the money. How are we going to pay to get there?
Yeah. And I mean, there is some scenes where they are training and it's all like montage-y. And it's obviously like, they're so bad. And like, LOL, look at them chasing a fake bobsled because it rolled away and whatever. And you're kind of like, oh, okay, we get it. And then, of course,
into a cop car.
They crashed into a cop car, but that was like the turning point because then John Candy's like, y'all fucking did it! You did it fast enough! Woo! And then you're like, oh, I guess now there's a chance. I don't really know. My bobsled knowledge is small, but hooray. So yes, now we're at the part where it's like, all right, we gotta raise money. And okay, the way that we are raising money, there are questionable things happening.
We have yet to say it, but I referenced Little Giants a lot in this movie, which is like, you know, we don't have the right uniform.
Right.
It's very dusty and dirty. We don't have the right equipment. We're not even training on ice.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have figured some ice rink in all of Jamaica. Nope, we don't train on ice. We train on dirt and hills. Yeah. And now we don't even have money to get there. So we're going to do arm wrestling, kissing booth.
Not good. Don't like it.
Go to a loan officer? Sing by a fountain?
First of all, Sanka had his own, like, mini store. Like, he sold things. And I was like, why the fuck isn't Sanka, like, selling things for my... Like, I don't understand why his first thought was, like, I'm gonna sing a made-up 2-second song on the street corner. Like, you and I make up songs at minimum every episode. And, like, I'm not trying to go on the street corner and sing that for money. No.
Well, think of how far they've come now. In 2022, they're selling NFTs.
Well,
so thank God they got past, like, a kissing booth. Which we talked about that Doris's wife.
He's married.
Yeah, I mean, like, if I showed up and my husband's, like, kissing people and, like, liking it for what, like $1?
It was something lame. It wasn't enough, I'll tell you that.
I was like, you're the worst.
I wrote, wow, Doris is cheating in the name of charity, because what? That's my exact quote. What I wrote. It makes no sense. And Yule is doing arm wrestling, which, like, again, I suppose you can win a lot of money, but, like... Guys, just go to Atlantic City, you know? Like, there's better ways. There's gotta be better ways.
This is where Junior shows up for them.
Yes.
Because he is a rich boy, which is why we got the reference. And he sells his car, right? He sells his fancy car. Now, I had put in my notes the wrong number. You corrected me last time, which was, I thought they needed $120,000 to get to the Olympics. And I was like, damn,
nobody's fucking going to the Olympics.
That was a nice car.
Damn.
But it was around like 12, right? So he sold his car.
Yeah.
Was it 12, 20, something
I think they needed 20,000.
Okay.
In total.
And Doris is like, what? We can't take all that money from you. And, you know, and then Junior's like, I did ruin, like, your dream.
Yeah.
That you worked towards for 4 years. I would have been like, yeah, you did. Thank you.
Right.
And I'll take a $5,000 bonus for
I know,
this
that did feel a little bit like a waste of 5 seconds of the movie, because Doris is like, what? No way. And then Junior's like, but like, I tripped you. And then Drees is like, you're right. Hooray. Thanks again. And I was like, wait, why did we have that in there? Okay, it's fine. Whatever.
So this other thing that was so interesting about this movie is like, you would think that montage to like get them to the Olympics is like 3/4 of the movie.
Right.
And you're like, all right, now we're at the Olympics, so now we gotta show up. It's like, no, then they're there for like 8 freaking weeks.
Yeah.
And they're like training again. And then they do like trials again. And then they like actually compete in the Olympics. And you're like, oh my God. So this is just the beginning, folks. But
well, we get more. Obviously, they go to Canada and LOL, snow and winter and burr. So we get jokes about Sanka being cold again. Take a sip every time. And we get very quickly this sense of, you see Irv, who is like, okay, I gotta go sign them up. And he's kind of like, you see how other people are treating him.
Oh, nobody likes Irv.
And it's not good. And you do start to see, like, when he goes to sign up the team and he's like, the guy's like, what country are you with? And he's like, Jamaica. And the guy's like, good one. What country? And I was like, sir, why don't you look on your list, okay? Because it's in front of your eyeballs instead of your lame jokes. Thanks. Ugh, cannot with people.
But I mean, you gotta figure in the true story where it did somewhat happen close to this, right? It was like some random dude that took sprinters. It was the same stupid story. Sprinters make the best bobsledders and Jamaica has the fastest people. And so you gotta figure they definitely like laughed at this when it first happened. But the compounding of then John Candy cheating and getting a gold medal taken away took it to like the next level. Like it was literally like high school. Like they were just like, oh my God, John is here.
Did you see what John was wearing?
Oh
wow. I think my grandma has that coat.
Oh my God. That's a nice skirt. I hate that skirt. You're like, John.
So mean, girls.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But he takes it. You know, this is, you know, people joke about like Martha Stewart, like handled like jail really well. Like he just takes it. He does not try to say, I'm a good person. He just thinks he sucks and he goes with it. And you gotta figure the teammates, they didn't really like make fun of him or get mad at him. They just were like, whatever, we're going to the Olympics, moving on. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
So this blew my mind, and I don't even remember if this is part of the real story, but there's a subplot in here where they don't have a sled.
Oh my
Why didn't
God.
we order a sled on Amazon? And I don't know about it, but like he has to.
Please Google bobsled.
There's a bobsled on. I guarantee you there is. And I hate that there is, but I know it's there. So, but he has to basically like Catholic guilt trip some guy that he used to be on the American team with to be like, get us a bobsled. Come on, I know you got one lying around. And then they end up getting a bobsled, but it's like a hunk of junka. And I don't know where our $20,000 went, but I guess it wasn't to the bobsled.
They did not allocate funds correctly.
No.
So that guy's name was Roger, and literally Roger asked the question we all did. He said, you came all the way to Calgary without a sled?
What? Why did you do that? What if there was none? Then the movie ends, and that was a short movie, and Disney doesn't make money, so.
But let's face it, the sled is also what screwed them.
It was, and I hate that.
So, like,
and that's why I wonder, like, was that, like, part of the real story? Because I don't remember.
I'd have to look that up. I think it could have been that. It could have been other things. I mean, I'll look it up. Keep talking.
Okay. Well, after this, then they're like, okay, you know, they can run really fast, and that's great, but they gotta practice, like, running on ice, which we didn't practice also, so here we are. So they go to a fucking hockey rink, and this is where we get another 90s sports classic crossover with Mighty Ducks, because they're on the ice, just like...
the Bash Brothers.
Trying to fucking stand, and then the ice comes out, and I really, really, really wish it was the Mighty Ducks, like, skating around them and
oh my God,
making lame jokes. Oh my God, like, it would be amazing. Like, Yul Brynner surrounded by, like, the Bash Brothers.
Oh my God. Wait, let me go back real quick. So part of the real team falling, they chalked it up to just the driver's inexperience. The fact that like this was so new for them and just going so fast, but it was less of a mechanical fault. But in this movie it was, and I liked that a little bit better.
Yeah.
It followed the storyline. But I think the thing I liked about the ice piece is that, so they're like track stars, athletes, you know, they've been training really hard for like this bobsled Olympic trials, but like they couldn't even walk, Kate. Like they literally, like, but like they were so spazzy.
But like, Bridget, some people are like that, like me. So
yeah, but you're not an Olympic athlete.
I'm definitely not. But like, I also can't even stand on ice. I think I'd fall over.
Oh my God.
Immediately. It's not in my DNA.
I don't know. I'd think they had like a little bit more natural ability, but they all were terrible, like spazzes.
Well, and it's funny too, because then we never see a scene of them like getting better at that. You just assume they got better, and then they, I guess, did. And you're like, okay. Like, it was just a comic relief scene, but
yes.
Whatever. Yeah.
But in the whole time, all of the other countries, it's like anytime they come anywhere and they walk in the room, they show up with their sled, they go up to the ice rink, everyone is like quiet and stares at them.
I hate that. Like, that's like racist in itself, I feel
so
like.
Racist.
Like, you guys are staring at the black guy.
So racist.
And awkward silence.
Also, like, why do you care?
Yeah.
That is a little 90s. Like,
right.
Being like, oh my God, I can't believe you're here with us. It's like, if you're going to beat them, why do you even look at them? Who cares?
Right. They exaggerated, like, what was it, the Swiss team or like some other team? There was like that guy who kept being like a jerk, and he would be like, oh wow, you guys suck. Yeah. And you're like, oh no, that might also be racist, your accent, but I'm not sure.
Oh,
I hate it. I hate it all. But yeah, it's weird. And so the first trial that they do is where it's not a push start. They are just sitting in the sled, and then John Candy just pushes them.
Oh my God, like they're little children.
Like I was like, I could do that. Like I'd be into that part. Like, I don't got to do any running, and I just get to kind of sit, and that's a good time.
We saw them try to walk on ice, so this was probably a good move.
And then the whole time they're going, Sanka is screaming bloody murder. And that was funny.
Yes. He screamed, I hate you, Doris. I hate this.
It's like those videos where you watch someone who's scared on a roller coaster, and you're like, I know they're going to be okay, but like, just sometimes hearing the things people scream.
Oh my God.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? They're doing it. And
I think they do like crash during that though. I'm not sure.
It's not like totally all hope is lost. They're warming up, and they're getting slowly better and slowly better. And this is then what causes the news to spread that like the Jamaican Bobsled Team's here. And all of a sudden, we go to Junior's dad, who finds out what's going on. And Junior's dad is very controlling, did not know he sold his car. I don't know where he thinks his son is.
No, he thought he was at like an internship with a bank in like another country. And I'm like it was in Miami, Florida.
Oh my God.
But yeah. Well, and this is where we get Katie's first cry of the movie, where we mentioned it before, Yul Brynner is like, all Jamaicans are lazy and everything about Jamaica sucks and I gotta get out of Jamaica. And for some reason, the only way I can get out of Jamaica is Olympics, even though like there's planes and boats and other things, but it's gotta be Olympics.
Well, and he wants to be famous. He's like, I want to go to the Olympics and then be famous.
And then he's like, and this is where I'm gonna live. And it's a little postcard of Buckingham Palace. He's just such a simple guy.
Sanka rips him a new one.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's so sad. And then Yul's like, I don't know things. And then fucking Junior steps it up. Even though Yul has been mean to him the whole movie, Junior is like, our world would be better with more Yul Brenners who have dreams and want to achieve them. And then he's like, go ahead, Yul Brynner, get your palace. Oh my God, so sweet.
But it's cute because Doris and Sanka had like a best friend thing.
Yes.
And then, Yul and Junior didn't, but like now you're starting to see they're like bonding.
Yes.
And I mean, they're at the Olympic trial, so it's like, if you just wanted to get to the Olympics, like we got to get over the fact I tripped you, and
right.
You like want to kill me.
So this is actually the part that comes next where then it gets a news photo. They go to do a push start, their first push start, and they lose the sled, which would absolutely happen to me if I tried to do this. And that's where they take a photo, and then Junior's dad kind of finds out.
And a lot of the, as you call Mr. Olympics, aka Coolidge, everybody's like, don't embarrass us.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to go to the Olympics, just don't embarrass us. Like, everyone's already laughing at the fact that we're like Jamaica in the Winter Olympics, and what are we doing here? And that's kind of exactly what they do, is they like totally embarrass them. And the dad doubles down on that, and the dad is pissed.
Yeah. And I don't think the dad doesn't like go to visit. I think the dad like sends a letter or something, and Junior gets the letter and reads it in front of Yul Brynner, and they're like, oh, that sucks. You can't quit now. Anyway, let's go to a cowboy restaurant, even though we're in Canada. What the actual fuck are we doing?
Okay, I do not know. And they're like doing line dancing.
What?
And then like, I don't know how the Germans have the audacity to like pretend they own the cowboy bar and like start fighting with them. It's just like, I really was like, this is such an American thing. Like,
that's why I know it felt like America. And
yeah,
you're like,
it felt America.
We're in Canada.
We didn't even use like a U.S. team
No.
to be the jerks, you know?
No.
Like,
Yeah.
of course it's Germany because, you know, World War II
Yeah.
for life. And just like, I don't know. But this is where Yule's like, stop letting people push you around. And Kate, what is the line?
I see pride!
Hey!
I see power! I see a badass mother who don't take no crap from no one!
Yes!
Or nobody! Or something.
Basically, he is like, stand in the mirror, say these every day, 5 times a day.
Say your affirmations.
Say your affirmations.
Yeah.
And then I think he thought like he would eventually get like the confidence, but instead he just busts out the bathroom. Like Yule was like, wow, I am a motivational speaker that I didn't know about.
That should be Yule's ticket out of Jamaica is you'll just like, you know, get your own series and inspirational videos and speaking gigs and you're good.
But Junior's about to start a fight and then they're like, oh no, no, this ain't good.
Wait, I think he does start a fight, doesn't he?
He does. And he goes, I will not be talked to that way and it better come with an apology. And then it basically the guy's like, no. And he was like, oh. And then a punching match happens.
Yeah, I think Yule actually throws the first punch and then now there's like 50 people. I don't really know why all these people got involved. And then at some point fucking Sanka, who's doing weird line dances over yonder, literally runs in and he dive bombs into the fight for no reason.
This is like this scene reminded me of Mighty Ducks 2 when frickin' Wayne would just rope people. Like, it was like, what purpose was this scene besides like building up Junior's thing? And then what ends up happening is because Doris didn't go out because Doris is like a goody-goody and is like, you know, not drinking and working hard. He sits them down like a dad and yells at them that they need to be better than like the Swiss team.
And then they're all like, giggles. LOL. And I was like, yeah, same. I'm with you.
Oh my God.
I love that. But in here, what do? Oh, there's more training, montage, motivational speeches. Now they have cool uniforms. They are sponsored by Adidas. There were a lot of product placements in this movie too.
Oh my God.
A lot. Like Coke, Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Some Red Stripe.
And this is the part in the movie that I'm like, wow, they've been like training a while. Like they're still at the Olympics. Okay.
They update the sled too.
Yeah, they paint the sled.
This is where they go. We should call it Cool Runnings, which means peace be the journey. That's what I couldn't think of.
Wow.
That's cute. Peace be the journey. Okay. And then immediately they get a letter that says you're disqualified. Fuck off. And what even are we doing? Oh, because right before this they did qualify for the actual Olympic event.
They qualified, but then they, like, all of a sudden the judges changed the timing.
Well, no, they said they were disqualified because they didn't compete in an international trial before that. And then Irv goes to a meeting and he's like, we're in Canada and that's international for us. And they said, well, you're supposed to do one that's separate from ours. That's a new rule. And then he was like, that's a bunch of bullshit because that never used to be a rule. Then he makes motivational speech that I didn't write down, but it's motivation.
Well, he goes, well, I didn't know that 4 black guys could make you blush. If you want to take revenge, do it on me. Don't do it on my guys. They've done everything you've asked for. And you're like, you know what, John Candy? It's about time. Because you didn't have any Gordon Bombay coaching in you, but you showed
there was no slicked back hair gel in here.
I kind of like, too, that it was like this big fancy corporate meeting, and he literally like kicks down the door in his like schlubby shirt and pants. And he's like, what's the deal, guys? And then he talks about how they've eurned the right to represent their country.
It's awesome.
And it persuades them.
It
does.
Then
he gets a call that they're like back in. I'm like, oh my God.
I know. It is a lot of whiplash because you're like, why did we didn't need that scene. I liked it, but like plot wise, we didn't need it. But whatever. It's cool.
So now we're getting to like, okay, you made it. You made it. You're in the Olympics. They're like so proud of themselves. But Junior's got this little thing which is his dad. And his dad basically, like, tries to ruin it and physically travels to Canada to, like, get his son to, like, not do this.
Very dramatic. Oh my God, but I love the scene where he's like, I'll be waiting in the lobby, Junior. And Junior is, like, standing there like, I'm sad, Junior, but elevators have mirrors. And so he sees himself dramatically in the mirror, and he's like, power, I see pride. And then he stops the elevator and opens it, and he's like, Dad, what do you see when you look at me? And he's like, you're a little baby boy, bitch. And he's like, no, Dad, I have pride and power, and I'm an Olympian, damn it, and I'm gonna do Olympics, and you're not gonna take me home and get out my face, bye. That's not exactly what's said, but that's the context. And then the dad leaves, and Junior turns around, and fucking Yule is standing there like, hey, saw the whole thing. Sorry if that was personal and intimate and you wanted to be alone, but I was watching. Proud of you, bitch. And you're like, oh my God, best friends. It's so sweet.
It really had some Queer Eye, like, love. And support.
Yes. Just that very, like, healthy male friendship, and I love it.
Oh my God.
It was great.
It was great. And so you're like, you know what? Now all they gotta do is race. And so we're ready. Like, I was like, I've been waiting for 14 years, but we're actually competing in the Olympics now.
Well, so they're ready. However, Doris is kind of not on the same page as everyone, because Doris is like, we gotta be like the Swiss team, because, like, Swiss. And everyone else is like, that's dumb. And then they have a not great race.
They were slow.
It's slow. It takes them long to get in.
They choked.
Right. But this leads to a really good conversation. And this kind of, again, like, this goes back to Sanka, who is like, I'm all about Jamaica. Jamaica's fucking awesome. Hooray, we're Jamaican. Because Doris is like, we gotta be like the Swiss. And then Sanka's like, I'm not Swiss. None of us are Swiss. Why are we trying to be like them? Why can't we be like us? And then he says a good line, which I wrote a little cry face in my notes, which means when I watched it, I cried, where he goes, the best I can be is Jamaican.
Oh, loved it.
So sweet.
Loved
Hooray
it.
for country pride.
And then, Kate, instead of being, like, subtle, then they, like, really get extra and somehow get a car and steel drums and a giant flag and, like, John Candy gets, like, a fucking Rastafarian
that John Candy gets.
Which, I gotta tell you, unfortunately, like, every stupid white person in, like, America in the 90s probably had some sort of, like, Rasta outfit, and nobody understood what they were doing, because we're all racist, but that, then everyone's just like, whoa, the confidence, and they just are showing up all happy, and then they crush it.
This is their really awesome race, and they start off by saying the iconic, feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme, get on up, it's bobsled time, go running, and then they run. And you're like, yeah! Oh my God, it's great. And
I hope everyone does that, like, before they, like, go into a bar with friends or something. Like, just, like, at really random times, please state that cheer and just go for it.
Every time I leave the house when it's wintertime and cold, I will run out saying, cool runnings! Gotta get to my car in the warm.
But it was, so it's funny, you cry at, like, other times. This is where I would start to cry. Because I was like, oh my God, they're doing so well. And they get to 8th place, which the whole country is, like, watching them. Because, again, they literally take the whole country of Jamaica and make it, like, a town of 10 people. And they're all, like,
they do
watching at one restaurant on a TV, and they're all cheering, they all lose it, and so I don't know, that to me was like really, really fun. And then they have, because I guess you get 3 shots, and then they take the best time. The first they did awful, the second they were amazing,
right? So now they got the last one,
and it's a Disney movie, Kate. So,
but
wow.
Before we get there, we have a really good exchange between Doris and Irv, and Doris is like studying the turns or whatever, and Irv is like, hey bud, you want to come to dinner? Are you busy? Okay, never mind. And then Doris is like, Irv, I ask you a question. And he's like, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to. And then Irv's like, you want to know why I cheated? And he's like, yeah. And then he talks about how he wanted to win, and that's why he cheated. And he was like, I had to win. And then it's like it's another like really good message.
It's a really good message.
He says, I wrote some lines down. He goes, well, I made winning my whole life, and when that's your whole life, you have to keep winning. And you're like, oh, that's kind of sad. And then he goes, if you're not enough, he talks about the gold medal. He goes, if you're not enough without it, you'll never be enough with it. And you're like, oh my God. And then Doris is like, but how will I know? Bobsled. And Irv's like, you'll know when you pass that finish line. And you're like, finish line reference? Oh God. Wow. Foreshadowing. So that was another part I cried. So that's a total of 4 so far. I think we're only at 4, and that's 4 too many, but here we are.
Well, and this is where John Candy was like a really good actor.
So good. Yeah.
I mean, he kind of, throughout his career, always had these like a little cheesy roles, you know, like he always was like a character actor, but he like acted really well. Like, I believed him and liked his, I don't know, authenticity, even though he was pessimistic.
Well, and then...
But then you get to this final race, and the music, Hans Zimmer is busting out the most inspirational music, and they slow-mo, and they're going, and then you see that frickin' screw start to bust loose.
Oh my god, I hate it.
They also, it wasn't just like, oh, there's a crash and we'll like move the camera away. We literally saw their heads like smashing against the ice.
For like 2 minutes. Like it
Thought
was like
it was kind of violent, not gonna lie.
It was, like very scary. And eventually they finally, because of the friction on their skulls, stop the sled.
Jesus.
And it's like dead silent. Or there's still like some music, I think, at this part. And then Doris is
people
like...
don't know if they're like hurt. People don't know if they are dead.
Right. But Doris, like Sanka says, like, oh, you dead, Doris? And Doris goes, no. And then he's like, I have to finish the race because he remembers the inspirational moment that Irv gave us. And then I start to get emotional. And then they fucking carry the sled, and this is where the music cuts out, and it's quiet. And then
it's so good.
this is exactly what I wrote. I go, not the slow clap from the dickheads. It's beautiful. And then I wrote 3 crying faces.
And somehow, Junior's dad is there with the Jamaican Bobsled
sweatshirt. I don't know. Who knows?
Okay, in the real story, they don't actually carry their sled, but it is this dramatic where they push the sled across the finish line. So like,
my God.
They had this. I don't like this.
Well, because then in my brain I was like also trying to do the math, and I was like, okay, if the bobsled weighs 600 pounds and there's 4 of them, but they're equally distributed, then that's a lot of pounds each person has to carry. And I would have been like, guys, do you think we should just push it? I mean, it's ice. Do you want to save strength? No one has a concussion but me. Okay, all right, it's fine.
But they get the respect, and that was like, you're right, this movie had all these other messages, and one of them just the fact that everyone kind of didn't take them seriously. But they already had a kick-ass race for race 2, so it's not like they can't do it. But yeah, but the real scenes that were taken from the Olympics showing them falling,
it's scary.
Oh my God, it's so scary.
I don't know how those guys, there had to have been some like head injuries.
No, they were okay.
It's so insane.
And I think I told you the real story that it's somewhat similar. They were track people and blah blah blah, and then they competed in the 2-man bobsled. And literally at the Olympics, one of the guys asked his brother, who's there cheering him on, who has never done this.
Yeah.
Okay. He was like a cross-country athlete. He was like, we want to also compete in the 4-man. Will you do it with us? And he literally did it at the Olympics.
Is that allowed? You could just like jump into Olympic sports?
I think so.
That's very like Turbo Man. Like I just picked you from the crowd and now you're a part of this.
But can you imagine
you didn't sign anything?
Can you imagine getting picked and then all of a sudden you have a huge crash? I'd be like, what'd you expect, buddy? I was just supposed to cheer you on.
Come on. Jeez. Oh my God.
Oh man. But I cried at this part.
It's so sad. And
it.
They do the ending little quote where they goes, and then they, in 4 years or something, they return to the Olympics as equals. I mean, they always should have been equals, but because everybody sucks, now they are. My God. So great. This
is great. It is 90s. So people need to remember that it has its moments,
very
and
90s.
The lines are a little cheesy, but it's light and fun, and you can't not love this. And you especially can't not love this during Olympic season. Watch it.
Agreed. So you would watch this, obviously.
Oh my God. I would absolutely watch it, but I kind of went in with a little higher expectations for the comedy.
Yeah.
And was not prepared for like more of the emotional stuff like you talked about.
Yeah, it was. It was very emotional. It's like one of those movies where I'm like, does this need to be on my list for movies when I need to cry that I will watch? Because it might need to.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. I mean, it did it. Well, Bridge, it's my turn to pick a movie.
Hot damn.
Now, let's see if I can do math. Okay, so the next episode will still be in the month of February. So I have 2 options I can pick from, and I want you to pick what genre you're feeling, okay? One genre is kind of like, maybe coming of age, but like older age. Older coming of age, girl friendship musical.
Whoa.
And then the other is a straight up romance. But like modern.
Whoa.
So
the musical piece has thrown me off with the girl coming of age. But I'm leaning towards that one.
You are? Okay. The reason I wanted to see when this stuff would come out is because last year in March, Bridge, and I know sometimes you don't like the themes that I force us to do, but last year in March we did do a musical March, and this is kind of musical, but it's okay. Maybe if we want to do that again, this could be like a little icebreaker. Actually, this will be a very topical movie because you'll know why when you hear who is in this movie. So, this is a 2002 movie.
Ooh.
It is PG-13, all right? Now, let's see how this describes itself, because I might have described it differently. Oh, romance, you say. I don't know about that. It's... Oh, no, Bridge! It's got a horrible rating.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh, no, it's so bad. Oh
shit.
Oh, God,
How low
it's so
is
low.
It? How low is it?
It's 3.6 out of 10. Okay, well, we'll be the judge of that when we force ourselves to watch this. This is a comedy, drama, romance, and I feel like I'm gonna read you the description, and you're still gonna be like, what the fuck? Alright, 3 childhood best friends and a guy they just met take a road trip across the country, finding themselves and their friendship in the process. And there is a very famous singer in this movie, thus the musical part. This is the 2002 movie, Crossroads. Wow, this is unliked.
Oh, no.
That is very sad.
Wait, this is Britney Spears under conservatorship or not under conservatorship?
It was probably under, which is horrible because that was like most of her life. And yes, very topical. As we're recording this, she recently, like within the last couple of weeks, was finally freed of her conservatorship. Thank God. But yeah,
wow.
this is her.
Oh,
so.
this is nostalgic.
Wait, and it's so fucking funny because then, like, you know how they do suggestions on IMDb where it's like, if you like this, look at this, and all the other suggestions that are like, yeah, Britney Spears from Vegas, Britney this, those have like amazing reviews, but like her actual movie has a horrible review. Oh no.
My God.
Alright, so I do have to also give a shout out. This is a fan pick. Hey. So this is recommended by Julie, and Julie recommended this movie when I was sitting next to her drunk. So here we are. Full circle.
We have Julie to blame.
To blame or to thank? We'll have to see. We'll have to see about that. Yeah, so that's where we're going.
Wow.
Going to the crossroads.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, if we don't see you for this episode, folks, we'll see you for the next one.
Bridget's like, I'm going to decide to have my baby right now, so we don't have to record about that.
I'll be like, hey, you're going to have Julie do this.
Yeah. Sorry, can't do it. Oh, no.
The birthday cake worked. Oh, man.
Well, Bridge.
Yeah.
I just want to say, if you were trying to go to the Olympics and you decided to do bobsled and I was your friend and you came to me and said, do you want to do bobsled? I would not pretend to say no at first because 2 seconds later I would just say yes, and I would really cut back on the jokes about being cold.
Ooh, my Sanka.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bridge.
If you were trying to think of ideas on how to raise money.
Oh my God. Yes.
And you suggested arm wrestling,
yeah.
kissing booths, loan officers, and singing by a fountain.
Yep.
I would simply tell you those are bad ideas.
Okay. Wow, thanks, Bridge. Oh, and listeners, if you also were confused by the money raising plot points, and if you would join your best friend on a bobsled team, and if you would like to see Jamaica return to bobsledding this year in the Olympics, you should write us a review.
Hey!
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts. You can also review us on Spotify. It's not a written review. It's just stars, but that's very much appreciated if you could go on there. And we also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. If you scroll down on the main page, there's a form you can fill out to request a movie. So our next movie will be a listener pick. It is picked by my one best friend, Julie. And, you know, Julie picked it when she was drunk, so, All right. That's where we're going with that. Love you, Jewel. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
Well, this one goes out to Julie. You could pay us for watching movies.
Julie actually was one of the very first people to donate on our Ko-Fi site when we made it. So
we love you, Julie.
We love Julie. Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes, we'll watch these movies so you don't have to, and maybe you think it's worth the $3 or whatever, and we'll buy coffee or just, I don't know, do something with the money that makes us keep going.
We will.
We're having babies during these things. We're on our 87th episode.
Yes.
This is a lot. And so, anything that tells us that you want us to keep going helps. And hell yeah to that.
Hell yeah. Yes. So check all that out, and we hope to hear from you. All right, listeners. Well, we'll see y'all next week for Crossroads. Is this the movie where she sings, I'm not a girl, not yet a woman, and you're like, you're fucking 18-year-old woman, lady. Oh,
I don't know why, but I'm going back to Castaway.
We did talk about Crossroads and Castaway. We did at the end, where he's literally at Crossroads, and we were like, where's Britney Spears? Wow, what a connection.
Do you know how many low-rise pants and crop tops are going to be in this film?
Oh, so many. And glitter.
Highlighting and glitter.
Oh,
and
no. Pink things.
Butterfly clips.
Butterfly.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Oh, I can't wait.
We'll be there. So we hope you'll join us.
Join us at the Crossroads. All right. Well, I love you.
I love you.
I love you. Bye-bye. Enjoy your cake.
You're a badass mother who don't take no crap from no one. I love you.
Thanks, you, Brenner. I love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswho'veseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.